Released on March 10th, 2023, Scream 6 slashed onto our screens and into our minds. Instead of being in our usual town of Woodsboro, 6 took us all the way to the Big Apple, where trains and skyscrapers are aplenty. While the location is different, the story again follows the group at college, similar to Scream 2. But is this film as good as Scream 2? Where does it rank among the Scream films? Let's find out and get right on into it. Welcome back, I'm Sippin Ice, and before we get into it, spoiler alert for the entirety of Scream 6, as we will be talking all about it. Also, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as I plan on dropping a full ranking of the Scream franchise. Lastly, for those that know, a year ago I dropped a Who Killed Who in Scream 6, and the scene with Paul 2.0 and Annika, I believe I now know who killed those characters. And stay to the end and I will explain who was under the mask during that scene. But finally, let's just get right on into this thing. The movie opens up to a lady answering a call, but it's not Ghostface, it's a customer calling the bar that film professor Laura Crane is at waiting for her date. Her date Reggie is apparently the worst with directions as they can't seem to find the spot.
Am I on Hudson?
I don't know.
I am not on Hudson.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
He has Laura go outside in hopes of helping him find the right bar. Eventually, he even has her go down a dark, creepy alleyway, which for some reason she does. The scene climaxes as Ghostface pops out, stabbing her over and over again, ending her. Title card. Wait, we're still watching Ghostface? And we see him take his mask off? It's Jason Carvey. He packs up his mask and walks back to his apartment, but not before running into Tara, who he is friends with. I wonder why. Especially when he asks if Sam is going to be at the big frat party. It's obvious he just wants to take both of them out. Come on now.
Hey, bro, come on now, dawg.
As he gets back, he calls out to Greg Bruckner, his partner in crime. After some time, he gets a call from someone using the Ghostface voice modulator. Believing it to be Greg, he talks about the kill, calling her just a piece of meat, an animal. Ghostface, not a fan of this, decides to mess with him by forcing him to play a game of hot or cold, or, as this movie likes to call it, warm or colder.
Let's play a game. Do you know warm or colder?
What the hell are you talking about?
It culminates on him being hottest at the fridge. As he opens it, we see Greg chopped up in the fridge, and we see a Ghostface stabbing Jason in the back. He turns and falls, and as he gets stabbed numerous times, declaring, "What about the movie?" As he wanted to finish Richie's movie. But Ghostface hits him with the classic, "Who gives a fuck about the movies?" and slashes us into the actual title card. Honestly, this opening scene was one of the best of the franchise. Seeing the follow-up after a Ghostface kill was amazing, and don't even get me started on the Ghostface on Ghostface action. We catch up with Sam as she wraps up another one of her therapy sessions with Dr. Christopher Stone. She arrives home shortly after, but also doesn't stay there very long as she learns from their roommate Quinn that Tara is at that frat party. Tara is at the party, but so is Chad and Mindy Meeks, along with Annika, Mindy's love interest, and Ethan, Chad's roommate. Some creeper named Frankie tries to take a wasted Tara upstairs, but never fear, our boy Chad is on the case. As they have a good old macho shoving match, Sam walks in tasing his gonads. Everyone on the home team leaves the party, but not without it being extremely awkward for everyone, as Sam and Tara have a big old argument, ending in some rude person tossing their drink on them. Like, who does that, dude? But before we swap scenes, Tara mentions that Sam has to let her go. And this is an obvious foreshadowing event, that's why I have to mention it. Tara gets to her room and talks to Quinn about her dad. She says after they lost their brother, her dad wouldn't leave her alone. But their conversation ends to allow another to begin. Chad and Tara have a deep bonding moment, one that has them about to kiss, at least until Quinn interrupts them looking for her phone. Chad begins to leave as we then swap over to Sam, who actually is dating the dude from across the way. Secretly, but not actually. Chad calls for Sam to come check something out. They learn of the death so far on the news and debate on leaving. Quinn calls her police dad to get some info, and we see he found Sam's ID at the crime scene. Sam and Tara head out, but shortly after, she receives a phone call. From Richie? It's Ghostface calling and explaining that they actually took Greg and Jason out for them, but proceeds to attack him anyways. Tara is able to throw them off, and then they run to a bodega where they yell to call the police, but then they enter. Ghostface takes out 2 of the store's customers and then Neo's his way out of getting blasted by a shotgun from the owner of the store. He loops around, stabbing the man, and then taking his shotgun, and then Bro shows him how to hit your target as he blasts the man's face off. He shoots around the store as they look for Sam and Tara. Eventually, they spot them crawling down an aisle, but before they can actually do anything about it, they push over the shelves onto Ghostface, and then they run out the front door as cops arrive on the scene. Liking this idea, Ghostface does the same thing by going out the back, but not before leaving a mask as evidence. Sitting down with Quinn's dad, Detective Wayne Bailey, as he shows off that said mask. DNA says the mask belonged to one Richie Kirsch. For some reason, it seems as though Bailey had some trouble saying that name.
DNA says that it belonged to someone named Richie Kirsch. Does that ring a bell?
That's suspicious.
Sam and Tara explain the events of the previous film. Here is where Bailey learns of Sam's therapist. This scene really gives out hella clues. Like, after rewatching this film, it really does give off, hey, look over here, this is suspicious activity. Especially when we cut to another scene soon, but before that, Kirby. No, not the pink one, Kirby Reed. She's back as an FBI agent arriving to help solve the case. I'm not a huge fan of this character change, but while I agree she would have grown as a person and changed due to the events of Scream 4, I just miss her horror-loving side. Like, why can't we have both? At least we can have our gal getting punched. Oh, she dodged it. Oh shit, okay, Tara got her lick in. I love Gail, but this movie has me kind of disliking her a little bit. She will always hold a special place in my heart, so don't get that twisted. But after Scream 5, she literally said she wouldn't write a book on those killers. But nope, she went back on her word and wrote the book. Where's the Dewdrop book, Gail? Where's my book about Dewdrop, dude? She went back on her promises and reverted to old Gail instead of progressing as a character. So I'm not happy with her right now. Remember that certain scene I mentioned? It's here. Dr. Stone is enjoying some cereal, I think. Maybe got that Fruity Pebble action going? But he's watching a classic movie, the 1956 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where we see it's at the scene where the character says, it's too late, they are already here, you're next. All that fun stuff, which is ironic as he gets a knock at the door. It's Ghostface. They bust open the glass window and shank him in the nose, ending him, with the scene ending as they grab Sam's file from his archives. Almost like someone was recently tipped off that Sam was going to see that said therapist. Mindy hits us with a rules scene, once again as she is the living embodiment of our new Randy character. They discuss how the previous events were a requel, but that's not it anymore. They are in a franchise. The rules of a franchise, as laid out by Mindy, are 1. Everything is bigger than last time. 2. Whatever happened last time, expect the opposite. 3. No one is safe, legacy characters included. 4. Main characters are expendable to boost the IP. Once again, thank you Mindy for the rules. Ethan follows this up with the most hard-hitting question, one that is just truly earth-shattering. The laws of physics have yet to catch up. He asks, am I going to die a virgin? Way to stay involved, Ethan. Mindy puts Ethan, Quinn, and even Annika on her suspect list. Because again, never trust the love interest. But as the newbies inform them, if they are suspects, then shit dude, we're all suspects. I'm a suspect, Shay Rance is definitely a suspect, like definitely. You at home watching this video, you're a suspect.
Everybody's a suspect!
Kirby and Bailey discuss the case. Roman Bridger's mask was left at Dr. Stone's crime scene. The killer is counting down, but so what? We have Amber and Richie's mask at the scene of Jason and Greg, Jill and Charlie's at the bodega, and now Roman's at Stone's. The remaining masks yet to be found belong to Mickey Altieri, Nancy Loomis, Stu Monker, and Billy Loomis. Will those also turn up? As Kirby leaves, Bailey has a fellow detective dig into Kirby's past. During a nice little emotional dinner scene between the core 4, we see Danny ironing some clothes as he sees Ghostface creeping over Quinn. He tries his best to get Sam's attention, but he has to settle by airdropping them all a picture of Ghostface taking out Quinn. They finally realize what's happening as Quinn gets tossed through the door. Chad and Tara, being the smart ones, run out through the door. Why the others didn't? Well, I don't know, dog. They dipped the hell out, and can you blame them? Exactly. Annika gets picked up by Ghostface and pushed against the wall as they stab her in the gut, twisting the knife and carving upwards until Sam was able to hit them with a knife block. Why the knife block and not a knife? because someone took their knives, but that would mean someone in their immediate group is to blame. But who? After seeing Paul 2.0's body, they manage to barricade themselves in Quinn's room. With nowhere else to go, they are forced to cross a ladder bridging the gap between the two apartments. Sam makes the cross, then Mindy, leaving Annika as the last one to cross. As she does, Ghostface makes it into the room. They grab the ladder and hit that Taylor Swift song and start to shake it off. And by shake it off, I mean shake Annika off, forcing her to land to the ground below, ending her. Mindy's suspect list loses 2 suspects as Annika and Quinn are seemingly ended, leaving Ethan as her top suspect. He claims he had Econ, but later I'll explain something about that, so stay tuned. Gale and Kirby show up in order to take the team over to an abandoned movie theater. But as Gale says, it's not just a theater, it's a shrine. In probably the coolest scene of the movie, downtime-wise, we see artifacts from every movie. Randy's shirt, the knife that stabbed Kirby, Dewey's badge, and the TV that fell on Stu, with even much more hidden around the room. Sam sees the shrine for her dad, causing her to have her first vision of Ghost Dad in the film, but never fear, Tara breaks her out of it. It's here where everyone separates to have their own conversation, but the only one I care to mention here is the one with Kirby and Mindy, as they have the horror movie buff face-off, both having some decent opinions on other franchises. They come up with a plan to catch Ghostface by having Sam and Tara walk around in a park, hoping the killer calls. But, and this is important, they leave Gale out of it. Why Gale didn't just show up anyways is beyond me, because normally she just does her own thing. But anyways, Sam does get the call and Kirby begins tracking it. Brother, Ghostface in this movie is so corny because of one line, and this one line alone. Sam tells them that they will die, and Ghostface actually hits them with the middle school trademark and goes, "No, you're going to die." I laugh at that bad dialogue every time. The call finishes getting traced, which is when we learn the call is coming from Gale's apartment. Ruh-roh raggy. Gale's new boyfriend answers the phone but hands it over to Gale as they say it's the killer. Ghostface tells Gale about how legacy characters are expendable now, which only the core group was informed of, so yeah. As Ghostface talks to Gale, they also grab her boyfriend, only to toss bro through some shelves. In a sick scene, Ghostface wipes the blade clean, steps over the shelves, and then lunges at Gale. A chase through the apartment ensues, eventually ending in a room where Gale is able to retrieve a gun. She shoots the door a few times and proceeds to get another call from the killer. Gale searches for the killer as Ghostface mentions a fan favorite long-running theory of what if Gale could have become a killer. Being a smart cookie, she puts dude on hold and dials the number back. Hearing the phone ring, she shoots the closet. Luckily for her, it sounds like she shot them twice. Unluckily for her, she didn't. Ghostface pops out stabbing her, but Gale managed to knock them out luckily. So she grabs the knife in order to finish them off, but unluckily for her, she didn't knock them out. She gets stabbed with a piece of glass, but actually luckily for her, Sam and Tara arrive and scare off the would-be killer. Gale low-key seemingly dies here, her eyes closing as the scene changes. As the team regroups, they discuss what to do. Sam offers up herself in order to keep the others safe, but they won't allow it. They are the core 4, my boy.
We are the core fucking 4.
Thank you very much.
They come up with a plan to trap the killer in that theater and execute them. So they head out. One of my favorite scenes is up next, the subway scene. They intentionally go this route as more people, less chances of getting stabbed. That logic should hold up, right? Right? During this entire sequence, we see strangers dressed in Halloween attire. And some, I mean that literally. We see tons of masks and characters with callouts to tons of other franchises, and it's so fun seeing that they're all canon films in this world. As they board the train, Mindy and Ethan get separated from the group because of the massive crowd of people, forcing the two to have to catch the next train. Chad looks up from his phone and realizes the train has countless people wearing the Ghostface mask. Their plan of being surrounded by people backfires as the killer wearing the mask is nothing out of the ordinary since it is Halloween. Ethan is staring down Mindy as she texts the group chat calling him Ghostface. Mindy then spots someone dressed as Ghostface. Their eyes lock as moments of darkness allows them to slip closer and closer until they are gone. But then Ghostface grabs her mouth and stabs her deep in the gut twice, leaving her to bleed out on a train full of unaware people. Ethan finds her and calls for help. A nice, funny little joke happens next as she mentions how she got it wrong again and fuck this franchise. Just before arriving, Sam kicks Danny from the group since she can't fully trust them. Good move, Sam. Kirby, Sam, Tara, and Chad relax and wait for their target to arrive. Sam goes off on her own and grabs her dad's knife from the original events, which is when she gets a call from Bailey saying Kirby is the killer as she's no longer with the FBI. The power shuts off and a whole movie begins to play. It's someone recreating the Casey Becker kill. But it's actually just a fan film, like, actually, not a bad movie, it's just a fan film. Catching up with Tara and Chad as they finally just kiss. What a sweet oh shit, Tara gets stabbed and the killer targets Chad! But being a Chad, he lays the hammer down and in his own words, introduces dude to Hobbs and Shaw.
Probably time to introduce him to Hobbs and Shaw.
They meet up with Sam and take off running, looking for an escape. But then Ghostface drops from the stage, attacking once again. Chad tackles them to the ground and hits them with Kenny's camera and then runs to catch up with the others. But Ghostface is still in hot pursuit. They end up in the lobby area once again. Everyone starts getting their licks in on Ghostface.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Chad lifts a gumball dispenser overhead to finish this. But Ghostface decides to cheat though, and they reproduce via mitosis and have their clone stab Chad in the side, forcing him to the ground. Chad is 100% killed off during the tag team Hell in a Cell match as the two Ghostfaces honestly stab him like 20 times. There's no way he makes it out of this one.
There's no way out of this one. You're done.
Tara is none too happy seeing him die off because he did die off from all of those stabs, but Sam is able to drag her away. Yet again, they run into a Ghostface. What, is there like 50 of them at this point? Kirby shows up shooting, all bloody, but so does Bailey. Who's the killer? Bailey shoots down Kirby as the two Ghostfaces join his side. Okay, so 50 was a little much. 3 is a little more accurate. But we have arrived to the reveal. Spoiler alert, I don't care for this part, so yeah. Ghostface 1, Ethan, cause obvious. Ghostface 2, Mindy? No, Quinn, the girl that died halfway through the movie. They have been counting down to make Sam look like the mastermind to ruin her before killing her. The family turned Ghostface killers are related to Richie, so yeah, another revenge motive. Sam starts roasting Richie to his dad.
He was a limp dick little fuck who cried before I slit his throat.
Causing Quinn to charge her, but she should know you should never be Ghostface on an empty stomach because she tried to eat the brick in Tara's hand. Kirby shoots Bailey, getting her get back, only to get tackled and stabbed by Ethan. Sam and Tara find themselves on the upper part of the auditorium. Bailey, who is fine since he was wearing a bulletproof vest, shoots at Tara, causing her to slip, but Sam catches her. Ethan is just below her and Quinn has arrived at the top. Harkening back to earlier, Tara tells Sam to let her go. As I told you, it was a major foreshadowing event.
Dude, stop, let me go.
So she does. Tara takes a stab for a stab. Her in the gut and Ethan in the damn mouth, dude.
Wow, man. Damn.
He is seemingly dealt with, but Quinn for sure is, as she takes one to the dome piece in front of her dad, which is followed up by the probably worst sequence. They just run at each other and fall over the ledge. Mind you, Bailey had a gun aimed at her, but nah, he ran at her because, yeah. Sam becomes the Ghostface and taunts Bailey before she then lights him up with stabs all over his body. She only stops when seeing Tara. She says she is not a murderer, but then proceeds to murder him by stabbing him in the eye. The day is seemingly saved as they sit on the stage and rest, thinking of the events that just unfolded. Wait, Ethan pops out charging them, until Kirby pushes the TV onto his head, killing him. Now it's saved. Danny opens the door, bringing the cavalry with him. They embrace as this movie allowed the love interest to actually be good for a change, because Scream 2 did it. He informs us that both Mindy and Gail are good. As they talk to Kirby, we hear, "Got one more here," but who could that be? Surely not Chat, and it's Chad. The movie ends with Sam dropping her dad's mask and walking off with Tara, leaving that side of her behind and moving forward with the New York backdrop looming overhead. Scream 6 is another fun and action-packed entry in the long-running franchise, and while it has some of my favorite scenes, it also has some of the worst. Let's start with the good. The opening scene. That one was bonkers. It was a great change to our typical opening kill. as it involved a Ghostface getting killed. Seeing Ghostface just linger after the kill also was wild. The bedroom scene. Other than Quinn, I really enjoyed this scene. And as promised, the killer behind the mask in this scene was Ethan. It obviously wasn't Quinn, for obvious reasons, and Ethan is the more sinister of the two male killers. He enjoyed the kill more. Bailey mainly wanted to kill the survivors from the previous movie and people who just kinda got in the way, and Annika was not one of those people. The killer purposefully grabbed her and walked her to the wall, stabbed her, twisted the knife, and brought it up, all the while watching her eyes. Now, like in my old video, I agreed with many thinking that Ethan actually had a valid alibi. But who else do we know that faked an alibi before? By showing up so others could see them and then leaving to don the mask.
Hey, what are you saying? That I killed her? It would certainly improve your high school kill.
Stu was with me last night, okay?
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, it was Ethan. Now the bad. Chad. I love Chad and the whole Core 4, but brother should be chilling with my boy Dewey right now. He took stab after stab to the torso and he was just cool with it. He then was left to bleed out for like 30 minutes before the police arrived. Bro, just built different, I guess. Scream 6 is fun, but it lacks real stakes. Scream 5 upped the ante by killing off Dewey to show that they mean business. But 6? No one of true importance died. Core 4 survived, Gale survived, only the newbies died off. So they really backtracked from their stance they established in the previous film. And I also hated that ending, if you can't tell. The reveal was one of the weaker ones in the franchise. Scream 5 copied 1 by having the love interest be a killer, but at least the motive was fresh. Here is just a reprint of Scream 2. The family getting revenge for their loss at the hands of the final girl. Same motive, same killers. I will have to rank Scream 6 a 6 out of 10. It's really fun and has its moments, but the lack of any real danger and the ending reveal just brings it down some. It also suffers from the loss of the big three, as we only had Gale in this one. But trust, it's still a great movie, as I fully believe that the Scream franchise has no bad entries. What do you rank Scream 6? Let me know down below. And as always, I appreciate you and your time. Stay chill, and I will see you next time.